Are these tunnels weird? Should we just move on to this? This is a stupid fucking question. Should we just let Zherka sick and Gavin call him a fat? Or is this a deeper discussion here on what the fuck is going on underneath this Shabbat synagogue, and what is the purpose of these tunnels? I kind of want to get your idea of what you think's going on here, Nick.
Well, obviously they're up to no good because it's hidden, and I think that's a fair assumption. There have been various explanations given. The first explanation was that they were hiding from COVID. And then even the Crown Heights website updated, because they initially suggested that, they updated the story and said the timeline doesn't add up. That's not why they dug it.
No,
it's
the future risk of COVID.
Yeah, I don't know how plausible that is, though. They then said it was a renovation, or that they were expanding the synagogue, but again, or rather the 770 building. But again, why would you hide the dirt? Why would you hide the dirt that you're displacing? It seems
there's
like
no evidence of that. This is all so new. We're talking about something that happened 2 days ago, and we're all experts on the subject. We don't know
pictures of the dirt that is hidden in another chamber.
Okay, but we don't know who put the dirt there. It could have been illegals.
Okay, come on now. It's 770 Chabad World Headquarters.
This is the thing, Gavin. It's like, why
to do any hard labor ever?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure they hired illegals to do it. I'm sure they hired illegals to pick up the shovels, but they were the masterminds. And look, here's the thing. I mean, we can speculate what exactly the tunnels were for. I think it's clearly nefarious because it was hidden. When people hide things when they're doing something wrong. Now, it's plausible that they were trying to evade a zoning thing. It was a dispute between these Israeli Messianic Chabad Jews and the community that runs the synagogue. That's really besides the point. The point that I made about this, what was interesting, is that the story was reported, and then everybody saw it and made jokes about it, and they made all kinds of insinuations about it. And then the Jews got together and said, we're not going to talk about it anymore, and shame on everybody for talking about it. There was an op-ed on the website that initially reported it, the Crown Heights website, and it was written by a Jew who was not a Chabad Jew, and he said, well, shame on us for reporting it to the Gentiles, and shame on the Jews for laughing or celebrating that Jews are being arrested by the police. Where is our sense of loving our fellow Jew? Is there no Jewish values? And it gets back to my sort of the big thesis of this whole debate. I mean, we can get back and forth into the weeds and the minutiae of these things, but the fundamental thing, which hasn't been disputed, is that they are a nation, they are race loyal, they look out for each other, and this is baked into the cake. In the Talmud, it's baked into the cake. In the Zohar, it's baked into the cake that they see the Gentiles as other, as excluded, as spiritually deficient or spiritually not able to reach the same level. And so they think that they're here in this country as their own thing. And, if they were leaving everybody alone, maybe that would be fine. But they're very powerful, and they have an audience internationally, particularly the Chabad Jews, with Milei, who was just elected in Argentina. Where did he travel after he was elected? Traditionally, the president of Argentina actually travels to Brazil for their first foreign visit. Many people don't know this. Milei traveled to Brooklyn to visit the Chabad World Headquarters in 770 because his rabbi is a Chabad Jew. He then went to Israel. And of course, the Chabad Jews have an audience with Putin, with Netanyahu, with Biden. They were in the White House on calls with Trump. And of course, Kushner is and supports, and his family supports, the Chabad community as well. And so there's something here that doesn't work, which is the Chabad Jews get together and say, we look out for each other. We don't tattle on each other to the cops. We don't report our dirty business to the Gentiles. They're also extremely powerful in Gentile society. You can't have it both ways. You either are in Gentile society and you're going to be among us and you're going to be with us, or if you're going to be exclusive like that, then you can't be influencing our society. It's not good for us. And there's a word for that. If there's an organism that attaches itself to you, typically smaller, and they're sort of benefiting, you can say that, but by definition, it's a symbiotic relationship. And you can say, my gosh, and you can, throw up your arms, but it's what it is. And you said it yourself. I watched your interview. You said, and earlier in this debate, you said, well, America's great because our Constitution. You omitted the part, which I saw a couple days ago. You said, well, because freedom is a precondition for the Jewish Moshiach to arrive, because freedom allows or rather Hasidic Kabbalists like you to bring about the Messiah who is going to deliver a vengeance on the Catholic Church. So like, and you omitted that part. So it's not, oh my gosh,
let's talk
you're
about
not
the
American, you're Jewish.
Listen, since we got brought up with the tunnel subject, let's talk about the real tunnels. And that's the Vatican tunnels, Nick. What's underneath the Vatican tunnels is all the Jewish books and all the Jewish artifacts that have been stolen from the Jews. Why should I sit here and honor your stupid idea that the Vaticans have no amends to make to the Jews? You have all of our possessions.
I can't believe people want to talk about the tunnels so much. The tunnels.
Wait, Gavin, why'd you cut him off? Hang
on. He was just in the middle of something. Go ahead, Adam King.
It's like, first of all, like the Arc de Triomphe, it has pictures of all the things that the Romans carried off with it into and buried under the tomb of Saint Peter, which is the Vatican. The Vatican, which is like the most unchristian thing in the entire Christian world. And I'm happy to go do a deep dive on Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I mean, Matthew and Mark didn't even know Jesus. Luke and John, one of them's Jewish, one of them's not. But for some reason, the Catholics forced this entire doctrine on the Jewish people that if we didn't convert, we're going to be killed and our books are going to be taken from us. So you guys are so up in arms about these. It was a zoning thing. They wanted to expand the tunnels. The Lubavitcher Rebbe said,
expand the tunnels.
Listen. Two things, okay? Either this guy is arguing in bad faith or is just stupid. Because saying Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were not Jewish and never met Jesus is like historically wrong, okay? Not only according to the Bible, but even according to history. Not only that, it just said, the Catholics said to the Jews, if you don't convert, we're gonna steal your books and kill you, something like that. We literally got persecuted for hundreds of years after the death and resurrection of Christ. So what are you saying? So every single thing is said is false.
The Lubavitcher Rebbe said before he died that he wanted to expand the base midrash, not the tunnels. And so this group of like young Israeli boys took over an abandoned mikveh, dug out underneath it, broke the wall. And when they broke the wall, the Lubavitchers called the police and arrested these boys.
Oh, yeah.
It's the end of story. But the real issue is not about these tunnels. Let's talk about what's underneath the Vatican. Let's talk about the real crimes that have been committed against the Jewish people. And it's not just the Jewish people, because the Vatican doesn't just sit on the treasure trove of the Jewish antiquity, but every single nation that Rome conquered. In fact,
Adam, why
there are so many nations that
exist.
exist.
I'm asking you a real question because I don't mind talking. No, I don't mind. I just want to know, why are we focusing on what's going on in the Vatican than just answering the question?
Because he hates Christians and he hates Christianity.
No, I don't hate Christians, but I do think that Catholics have a little bit of a twisted doctrine.
Well, you actually said Christianity is just a bunch of people terrified as hell. You actually said that early Christians
they're terrified
are evil people.
of hell. Actually, hell. Thank you for bringing that up. Hell is a Jewish concept, but in Judaism, you only the longest sentence in hell is 11 months. This concept of eternal hell or eternal heaven, when Jesus came around, Judaism believes in reincarnation. So all of a sudden Jesus comes and now reincarnation's not a thing anymore. And oh yeah, hell's different too, and heaven's different too. And but like you have to accept this, even though it's completely different than what Moses taught you. But this is the new.
Was that in your Talmud? Did you get that from the Talmud?
This motherfucker. I'm not even gonna address your.
No, I just want to go back to the whole like the totally watering this whole tunnel thing down. Like you have a lot of people that are saying that it was for COVID, but that the tunnels were dug 6 months ago. You have a lot of people that are saying that it was well, okay, not just you. But there's a lot of people that are saying that are like that are saying this on Twitter and online, and you just said that it was just a couple of unruly teens that were digging the tunnels underneath, and then when the elders found out they called the police. Now you mean hold on a second. Hold on. 1 second.
What if you heard that Hell's Angels had tunnels under their club? You'd go, yeah, I figured. The fucking tunnels.
No, but hold on.
This entire debate It ruins this entire.
No, I know. I just want to mention this. I just want to mention this one point about that. So like, and then they say, well, they hired illegals. Well, it's like
that's way more interesting.
Well, hold on a second here. So I have a hard time believing that these elders that are in this building all the time didn't hear 26 illegal Mexicans digging under their floorboards. Okay, we can move on for that. We can come back to that. I don't care. We can come back.
I'm kind of fucking pissed that we can't ever just. I've tried to talk to Jews about the tunnels. I'm trying to be neutral here, and it always turns into talking about the Vatican. Fucking let's go. Let's talk about the Vatican.
Tunnels are Elijah. What do you think? You think that there's child sex trafficking in a 20-foot tunnel?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they're. Yeah,
You
I think
do.
kids.
All right, put it this way.
No, they're gonna do it in broad daylight in a public square. What the fuck are you saying?
That's the most retarded thing you've ever said.
If it turns out that there's sex trafficking going on there, I'm joining your guys' team on
Wait,
this.
wait,
I
wait,
don't
wait,
even give a shit. I'm 100%.
Yeah, we don't want you.
anti-sex trafficking. There's no sex trafficking. It's such a a nothing burger.
Totally separate from the. You would be totally separate from the Hasidic rabbis then, because anytime anyone tried to to speak out against the abuse that was happening to children within the Hasidic community in Brooklyn, they were excommunicated from.
I'm a big supporter of an organization called Jewish Crime Watch. Big shout out to Jewish Crime Watch.
Not low IQ.
Big shout out to Jewish Crime Watch. It's an organization dedicated to purging all Jewish society of pedophilia. And I'm a big supporter of Jewish Crime Watch and everything that they do. They're an amazing organization.
You should start with the rabbi that bites the penis. The circumcising rabbi. He bites and sucks the blood of a penis.
Hold up. Okay, yeah. Shut the fuck up, everyone. For a second.
And those are the.
Just stop. I gotta keep it neutral here. I didn't say that I think or I believe or I know there was happening in those tunnels below Chabad synagogue. I have no idea what was going on. I saw soiled mattress with blood. I saw the guy tell me we all have bloody mattresses. Look at your covers.
You saw a dirty mattress. Wait. Have a nice mattress in a tunnel, retard.
Correct. You're also not going to have a fucking blood stain. So my question was, and this is what I want to say.
Fuckhead.
It was a Jewish sewer layer with it. Kids,
because I have a fuckhead, but I will say this: I'm not making any claims. Even if I thought something, I'm not making any claims about the tunnels. I have zero claims to make about those tunnels. I don't know anything actually because I'm not from New York.
Right. So why are we talking about it?
Because I want to know that because
it's a tunnel. Imagine a tunnel under a Hell's Angels clubhouse.
Yeah, but Hell's Angels, Elijah.
Kevin, when I ask the fucking question to people and I say this. If I ask you, why the fuck do you like pizza? And they said, why do you want to know if I like pizza? It's like, why the fuck do I got to ask you if you like pizza? Be in New York about it. I just want to know if you like it. And then they tell me why. And I'm like, dude, just answer the fucking question. So with the tunnels,
I like pizza.
People, it was
nothing. Think the tunnels are cool.
Yes, exactly.
Is pizza a code word or something?
No.
All right. So then let me bring it. We don't want to talk about this right now. I mean, we can come back to this. Let me bring this part up. Adam King.
Vincent, I'll get to it. I'm saying, okay. I just worked out the tunnels. Because this is just like 9/11 or a lot of things. I find it suspicious that when I ask the damn questions to people, some of my friends who are Jewish, some who are not Jewish, they get defensive and they don't want to talk about it. And that just raises alarms for me. That's it. That's all I want to talk about it for. Because no one else will talk about it with me. This is my show. Let's talk about it. We're on Gavin's Network, Censor.tv. We're really appreciative. But Vincent, go ahead. Let's talk about the tunnels and then we'll change.
Of course, they don't want to talk about Jews literally crawling out of the sewers by the dozens in New York City. Of course, Jewish people don't want to talk about it. And coincidentally, mainstream conservatives, a lot of mainstream conservatives said absolutely nothing about this, even though this was like a really hot topic for a couple of days.
Yeah. Guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Leave a like if you want to. Christ is King. God bless you.